So hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucy and in today's video we're going to be doing a very cozy autumnal video. This is my cozy autumn book recommendations that I really hope you'll all love. So before we get started, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Lucy, I talk about books a lot. You can follow me here on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button, and you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, I am at Lucy Richardson, and on Twitter, I am at BookBellReads. So guys, I'd love if you could follow me there, where I talk about books pretty non-stop. And I'm really delighted that you clicked on this video today because I've been feeling all sorts of autumnal, and if you have been watching this channel for a while or even just in the past kind of like few videos, you will know how excited for autumn I am. And we're getting close. I think by the time this video goes up, it will be the 22nd of September, which I think is when the autumn season properly starts. So to celebrate, I wanted to give you guys 5 book recommendations that you can read this autumn to properly get in the mood. Now, to preface this, a lot of these books are from kind of different genres and have very different styles, while some of them are quite overtly autumnal. A few of them you might be like, well, why is she recommending this kind of standard book? But I will go into why each one gives me feelings of coziness, of darkness, and just gets me in that kind of darker autumnal mood. So without further ado, let's get cracking on my cozy autumn book recommendations. So the book I wanted to start with is none other than Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So the reason why I wanted to recommend this book for autumn basically is because it is dark, it is moody, it's very action-packed, and it's very kind of shocking. There are plot twists galore. If you're new to this book, this is a duology, Six of Crows followed by Crooked Kingdom. This is kind of like a YA fantasy series, but it's so in-depth that, you know, it can be read by anyone and you will enjoy it regardless. So if you don't read much YA, I still would read this, it's phenomenal. This is basically a heist story. So it's about 6 people who are the Six of Crows. They're all bound together by a similar goal, and there is a heist story in this, which means that they all have to work together to kind of get something. It's basically full of adventure, action, a little bit of romance, but also magic, as it is set in Leigh Bardugo's Grishaverse. And the Grishaverse is basically a world created by Leigh Bardugo in the Grisha series, which features on people who have these magical abilities. Each Grisha will have a different set of abilities, so some people can heal people, some people can kill people with one touch. There's lots of different abilities, and they kind of feature in Six of Crows as well. This is kind of set in an Amsterdam-like world. It's quite gritty, it's quite dark, and it's so atmospheric. And that is the reason why I really would recommend reading Six of Crows at this time of year, because I think it would just get you in that kind of really atmospheric mood. It would be a great one to read under a blanket with all the candles on a really rainy night. Like, this would be the perfect book to read for that. Now for something a bit more overtly autumnal. This is Pumpkinheads, and this is by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. So this is a graphic novel. Let me just open up and show you just some of the art. Like, it is the most beautiful graphic novel. The plot around Pumpkinheads is it is about 2 people who are friends, but they only really have a friendship at one time of year, and that is autumn, around Halloween, because they both work every year for a pumpkin patch. And this is like a very traditional American themed pumpkin patch. There's like a corn maze, there's a haunted hayride. It is like chock full of autumnal tropes, and that's what I absolutely loved about this book. I think I'm going to reread it very soon. It didn't take me very long at all. That's the great thing about graphic novels, but this is just autumn and Halloween in a book. It's also got a romance, and I just loved this book so much. Faith Erin Hicks' illustrations are just beautiful, and the way Rainbow Rowell tells the story is just absolutely insane. So there you go, I just absolutely love this book. And if you really want to get in the mood and you're not really feeling very autumnal yet, this is definitely one for you, and I really would recommend this. So guys, next up on this very cozy autumnal book recommendations video is The Court of Miracles, and this is by Kester Grant. This very dazzling version of the book is the proof copy, and it is honestly one of the most stunning proof copies ever. And the reason why I wanted to recommend The Court of Miracles is because it is the darkest, most atmospheric book I have read in a very, very long time. This is basically a very dark crossover between Les Miserables and The Jungle Book. It is just absolutely beautiful, and I really, really enjoyed reading this. And this follows our main character Eponine, who becomes a member of the Thieves Guild to basically try and save her sister, who has been captured by another one of the guilds. And the kind of big baddie of this book is the head of this guild called the Flesh Guild, which specialises in basically human trafficking, which is so awful. But because this is all set in kind of revolutionary France, set in Paris, it is the most kind of rich, atmospheric, also kind of like, as I said, dark, because it really doesn't shy away from the realities of the time. And Les Miserables is kind of the main basis of this novel. It really kind of riffs off Les Miserables. So a lot of the characters are borrowed from Les Mis. Some of the plot, like the revolutionary plot, is kind of derived from Les Mis. I really enjoyed this, and I thought as a debut, this was even more impressive. The reason why I'd recommend it for this time of year is because I really like reading kind of dark fantasy books at this time of year. And this one would be perfect. If you are looking for something kind of moody and dark to kind of match the weather outside, well, this is the perfect book for you because it will give you all that and more. So guys, my next recommended read for autumn is the beautiful Crimson Bound, and this is by Rosamund Hodge. So Crimson Bound is actually a fairy tale retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. It is a very dark version of that, quite heavy, quite extreme, but full of action, and as you can see from the jacket, a very kind of leafy, very foresty book. As I said, it's a fairy tale retelling, so expect all the gorgeousness of fairy tales, all the rich language and everything like that, and a tale of darkness, love, and redemption. So this does have a romance plot in it, but I would say it's quite a unique kind of romance plot, and this book is just extremely well written, and I think I actually read this book around autumn a few years back, and I loved reading it at this time of year. And if you're looking for something very fairy tale-esque and kind of whimsical but dark, this is the book for you. And speaking of dark fairy tales, guys, I have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black as my final autumnal recommendation. So the reason I'd recommend reading The Cruel Prince in autumn is because it is dark, it is magical, it is beautifully written, and it's kind of cozy. Like, I really found reading the first book, The Cruel Prince, really a kind of like cozy, enveloping experience, in that it is so addictive that you just are in the world, and I found that quite comforting. Bear in mind, the world of Elfhame in The Cruel Prince is pretty terrifying and pretty dark. If you have never read The Cruel Prince before, guys, I was like you only a few months ago. I read this so recently. I read it over lockdown in the UK, and oh my god, I read the whole series and that's it. I'm a goner. I am so hooked. But this is basically about a girl called Jude who grows up in fairy with her family. She is a human and she really has to navigate the world of fairy, and it's there that she meets Prince Cardan, who is kind of like her enemy, and obviously the relationship might develop. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but let's just say The Cruel Prince is dark, it is delicious, it is beautiful, addictive, and perfect for an autumnal night because it is just so beautiful, kind of moody. And do I have any more adjectives? I don't think so. All I'm saying is, if you want a feeling of like coziness, of darkness, of mystery, then this is the book for you. So guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed my recommendations, and do let me know if you have any autumnal book recommendations for me down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for weekly bookish updates, and I will leave all links to the books down in the description bar so you can check them out and read them for yourself. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!